My journey to a peaceful world begins in the morning of September 11, 2001.
A plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Immediately, there was attachment of the Muslim world, my religion, to the most heinous crime in the history of New York City. No, hell no. This is not who we are. This is not our religion. This is not what I believe. So from that moment on, I knew that our mission of promoting peaceful coexistence has begun.
Since September 11th, 2001, Islam has been at the center of many of our most contentious political debates. Immigration, religious freedom, foreign policy. People across the political spectrum are angry, confused, and frustrated. This is the story of one man's efforts to have a more productive conversation about Islam. And it starts in New York.
New York is a place where every language, every color and creed, every religion, they commingle peacefully.
Sheikh Musa Drammeh is a Muslim immigrant from Gambia.
After I arrived in New York, I said, this is where I belong.
Eventually, he met his wife Sharina, they had some kids, and decided to start an Islamic mosque, school, and cultural center. They found a building. It's not your typical place of worship, but it worked for them. So after a few months of preparation, they were ready to start their Islamic school. The date, September 11th, 2001.
We were excited. We had about 13 students, and 8 o'clock, the school opened.
We understand that a plane has crashed.
The events of that morning threw New York City into chaos. People were calling Musa and telling him to close his school. And he made a fateful decision.
The school will not close, because if this is happening and immediately they're attaching it to our religion, then we have moral obligation to be open and let people talk to us about who we are, what we believe, what is the difference between us and these Muslim extremists.
After September 11th, Musa had a lot of different feelings.
You cannot describe it. The feeling of embarrassment, the feeling of hurt and pain and disappointment.
It led to 7 months of introspection. He reconsidered his faith.
The conclusion was, in order for us to live like real Muslims, then we have to respect a life. And from there, I realized that the best thing that we can do as Muslims is to create environments where there's a peaceful coexistence.
And one day he got a real opportunity to demonstrate that.
I'm only going to answer what you want, because I could go on for four days.
So this is Leon Bleckman. Do not ask about the black eye. He didn't want to talk about it.
I told you over the phone, that's between you and me.
You guys should see the other guy.
I knew Musa for years because I had a few Muslims that I was friends with.
At that time, Leon was the treasurer for his Jewish synagogue in the Bronx.
That's right.
And Leon had a problem. After years of declining membership, this mostly elderly congregation was forced to abandon their worship space and couldn't even afford the small storefront they were leasing.
We had no place to do anything.
Leon didn't tell Musa, who'd learned through a mutual friend of theirs, Pat.
When the request came from Patricia to help, she called it my Jewish folks. Immediately I said, yes, let them come. Having the Muslims and Jews coexisting at a mosque was an opportunity too good for us not to enjoy.
So almost every Friday, a group of Jewish congregants and an Islamic congregation pray under the same roof. But when this first started, some people in Musa's congregation weren't too pumped about that.
Well, the Muslim community, majority of them thought we were the craziest anti-Islamic people that God ever created. Having a synagogue in the masjid was something that they could not tolerate. One day, they created an organized boycott.
He argued to his congregation that there was nothing in the Quran that prevented the practice. It was about principle for Musa. He was pretty adamant.
We were not budging, we didn't second guess, we had no doubt, and we were not compromising. The boycott organizers never came back, but the people that they convinced all came back. Plus, they came back with almost the same degree of understanding that, guess what? There is nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, it is Islamic for us to be hospitable to these Jewish folks and others.
All of this meant a heck of a lot to people like Leon.
To be honest with you, he's like an angel in heaven. That's my honest to goodness opinion of him. He's like an angel in heaven.
Musa's Islamic Cultural Center was one of the last places that Leon Bleckman ever worshipped. He passed away on February 11th, 2017. Hosting Leon and this Jewish congregation is just one of the things Musa's doing. He co-hosts interfaith events for kids at the Museum of Jewish Heritage and events like this one, where scholars lecture on religious tolerance.
As human beings, what brings us all together is our humanity first.
Musa knows hosting the Jewish congregation is a small gesture, but a meaningful one.
We're making sure that the majority of these older Jewish folks will not live their last days on this earth yearning for the days where they live next to family and friends. We're now taking care of them. We're taking care of their needs.
He hopes that this is just a small part of a broader counter-narrative about Islam.
The matter of the Bronx is we refuse to yield to evil. And this is a message we want the world to know, that Muslims and Jews and Catholics and Buddhists and you name it, we're all human beings and we all live symbiotically. We're a single family now, taking care of each other.